Peter Navarro, who was Donald Trump's economic advisor, he claims that he basically ran the COVID response and wanted more of a response, and then sort of backed off that and called to testify in front of Congress. And this is why, I said the same thing about Hunter Biden. You get subpoenaed by Congress, you got to go. People have shenanigans, and now I guess he's agreed to go ultimately after his stunt. Good. Because we need to have Congress have the ability to call people to testify in front of them. We need Congress to be able to do oversight. Navarro decided that he is not only a genius when it comes to pandemics and economics and geopolitics, he also decided that he is an expert on the law. And despite the fact that a court said you need to go testify, he refused to do it. And now he's been sentenced to 4 months in jail for contempt of Congress. And here he is speaking outside, and it really is, it's mean that people are standing behind him and blowing whistles and holding signs. This is worth watching. This is almost more punishment.
So what I'm going to do is say a few words, and I'm going to have several of these fine attorneys behind me say a few words.
These whistles are coming from people behind him.
The top line here is that... knock it off. The top line here is that Mr. Woodward has already filed the appeal in this case. This is a case of first impressions that I have said from day one is destined for the Supreme Court. It is a case that really asks the important question of whether a senior White House aide and alter ego of the president can be compelled to testify by Congress. And this is where we're at. Unfortunately, the opposition behind us won't let this be heard, but we're going to do our best here. The one thing.
Okay, so what about Hunter Biden? But like, if someone who's working for the president can't be called to be questioned by Congress, what about the kids of presidents?
Well, there is something called executive privilege, and there is an argument that the president needs to be able to get advice that is candid and not subject to being made public, if it is within the performing the duties of the president. But overthrowing the Constitution is one of the most explicitly non-presidential things you can do.
Yeah.
And this has been argued out in court, and they're not looking to ask questions like, how did you advise China? How did you advise this? No, it was, what part did you play in the coup attempt, in part which involved January 6th? That's why I think some of these supporters, are supporters of a guy named Harry Dunn, who is a former Capitol Police officer who is running in Maryland for Congress. I know nothing about his candidacy or that guy, but I just saw them put up a sign for it. And I think it's, people are talking like Navarro's got to talk about his role in this scheme to attempt to ignore the results of the January of the 2020 election. So that's fun.